what are the advantages of both? I'm excited to bring this to you guys and see what we got. It's going to be an exciting show, and I can't wait to show you what we're going to do with my fence line. All right, we got Blake Thomas here from Vinyl Fence Warehouse. How are you, man?
Doing good, Brian. How are you today, man?
Good to see you. I know we talk a lot on the phone, but we don't get to see each other face to face much.
No, sir. I've seen you a couple times, but man, everybody wants a piece of Brian, and dude, you're hard to get a hold of.
No, man, it's just I'm at work every day like you guys. I mean, I get up, I go. Do you do installation at your place?
I don't personally know. We do offer it here. We actually started out, in the installation business. So we retained that company, and so we do still install, our own products. Just try and keep everything, top quality and things like that, and give ourselves a good name.
Yeah. So like you guys, my day starts off dealing with all that. So if you try to get a hold of me at 6 a.m, I am just swamped until at least 9 or so, getting them trucks out and dealing with all the normal, day-to-day hustle of getting your crews out and dealing with the customers and who didn't show up that day. And how are you going to move guys around? And maybe one of the trucks didn't start and you got to get the battery jumped, or, hey, where's the ladders for that truck? And you go to find out they left on the job the day before. I just love the normal stuff that we all have to deal with. So I think that's a big part of my day.
Oh yeah. Everybody's got fires, man, every day.
Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know who Blake Thomas is, owner, I believe, right, of Vinyl Fence Warehouse. I mean, it was your baby. You started it, right?
Somewhat. So it's actually, my dad started the company back in 1992, and we started in the garage of a rent house. I was 5 years old whenever we started. I was out in the garage, watching my dad build out, his own trucks and machinery and things like that, to go install, custom hand railing and things like that. So, we started out in installations. So with him starting that, it's just kind of evolved to where it's at now. We are family owned and operated, kind of a, tight knit operation here. Co-owner, I guess you could say, future owner, if anything.
Yeah. Getting ready to hand that down. You got any kids or anybody you're going to possibly thinking about handing that down to already?
Me, no. I have obviously have two small girls. But yeah, that thought is well off in the future. So they're not really into fencing, at 9 and 12 just yet, or 10 and 12. I'm just letting them, do whatever they want to do. Stay away from fence right now, and just not trying to push them into anything. Just letting them, be kids.
Yeah. I mean, this is when we typically all start getting into it. So that's why I was asking.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I was on the fence line, starting at like age 8. I think, I actually went out on the jobs and handled things, carried, maybe 20 pounds worth of anything. But I was out there helping.
Yep, I think I got my first official ass beating out on a job site from one of my uncles. What are you doing walking back? Why are you doing walking back here without something in your hands?
Yeah. Some empty hands, man. You're in trouble. You are in trouble.
Empty hands, man. You definitely got your butt beat. So what made you go for that transition then from the install over to doing some, obviously you supply a lot of material. Is it mainly, you say you're one of the largest in the Southwest, based out of Oklahoma, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, sir. Right here in the heart of Oklahoma, in Oklahoma City. Yes, sir. Like I said, we started out, doing ornamental iron. My dad was by trade a welder, on the pipeline and things like that, and that's really what pushed him to start his own company, and kind of do something more home based, in our own hometown. Was that he was gone all the time, out on jobs, welding for months at a time. So he came home and used that same skill set, to start making hand railings and iron fencing and things like that. So he did that for a very long time. And you ask him, and he will just straight up say, "Man, I got tired of being so damn dirty." So he, right whenever that kind of happened, he started getting sick of iron. He discovered vinyl. We were one of the first companies, in Oklahoma to start offering that. And just the cleanliness of vinyl, not having any kind of that welding dust or grinding dust, no flames or anything like that in your shop. It was really appealing. And so, he started, pushing more and more vinyl products, and it just grew and grew and grew. And we have grown to be one of the largest suppliers in the region.
Boy, look what you started around there, huh? Look what you started. There is vinyl fence everywhere now.
Man, I'm
Right?
telling you, we push our products, just as far as possible.
Yeah,
Offering them in many different ways. One of the things that always hurts is the cost of shipping.
yeah,
So we try to be as efficient as possible and all of those things. But just the big bulk, size of vinyl, it does make it a little bit harder to ship. So we've actually taken a lot of the things that we've done, kind of condensed them down, and we're able to ship products a little bit easier that way. But that's pretty much what we do now is we basically ship. We actually probably serve a market larger than the state of Oklahoma, every day. We just push our products more and more out of state.
yeah. And by the name Vinyl Fence Warehouse, a lot of people think that you're a vinyl fence supplier in itself, but they don't realize you have a larger line than just vinyl fence. I mean, I see the Goliath. Is it Goliath, the iron panels and stuff that you put out as well? Are those aluminum or steel? What tell us a
Well,
little bit about the Goliath.
so like I said, we started out doing the iron, switched into the vinyl. Basically grew our name off of that. Our installation company is actually called Iron Tough Vinyl Fence. So it just kind of evolved as we added the different products and things like that. Now what we've actually done is we have our own line of imported products.
Yeah,
We There's so much manufacturing that's done overseas. It's really just an extremely cost effective way to get things, and the quality is what a lot of people have always been afraid of. But whenever you are sending your specs to a Chinese manufacturer, they build it exactly how you want to.
yeah,
So here in Oklahoma, one of the biggest names that is out there, obviously, is Ameristar. They're based right here in Tulsa. So that's obviously a product that we kind of had to compete with. So what we did is we formulated the type of product that we wanted, had it spec'd out overseas, and we have it made specifically for us.
right,
So like what I'm kind of getting at with that was we developed our own line of products, and that would be the Goliath fence systems line. So in that we have our ornamental iron. And then we also are just coming out with our own residential black coated chain link, which is available in a no dig, which is pretty sweet. And then we have our flagship product, the Goliath multi post fence system. So that right there is really kind of the Cadillac of fence systems,
right,
which is really what we try to push and promote here is high quality premium product. We don't sell
right,
cheap things. We don't sell things that are going to fail on you quickly. Everything that we sell here is what we all consider a lifetime type product. Something that only needs to be installed once, has very little maintenance, and looks great year after year after year.
right.
Without having to go back and restain or replace things. Just that type of product where it's like a one and done kind of thing.
Right. So where's your main market for these Goliath and the steel panels? Is that mainly in your area, or do you see it over on the West Coast as well, or is it just areas you ship to and supply? I mean, I think it's great that you got products out there. I mean, Ameristar is a great product. I mean, it's been around a long time. They got a great brand. They did one hell of a job marketing that to engineers and architects to get it specced out. Oh my gosh, that is
Yes, sir.
amazing. You could write a book about what an amazing marketing plan that was to be able to get all the architects and engineers to call it out. And a lot of contractors will say, I just want you to use it because it's specced out. So is your product something they could do an and or equal, or is it something you got to do an RFP on, or you know what I mean? Or, to actually ask them a question and, things like that to get it approved?
So for our ornamental iron line, what we did, and that's really where we kind of got the name Goliath, is we wanted, big, bulky, strong products. So everything that we've done, it's a kind of a step above their residential line. Obviously they have their commercial line, they're a little bit beefier line, but their more residential product, I believe it's the Montage. We took it just a step above that, and so basically, if a customer is wanting that specific product, we can say, hey, we have something that's not only comparable, but actually kind of a step above. Obviously it's not, an American made product, but, the price point is really good. And, it is actually, slightly bigger and stronger. It has a
Right.
couple more features to it, but, still installs, in that exact same style, that everybody's used to, with the brackets and the bolts
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, heck, it sounds like you didn't go and or equal, you went and or better.
That's what we have to do here. We really do. I don't believe in coming to the market with a lesser product. There's just that's just not what we do.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
said, you don't build a reputation, off of cheap and low quality. And if you
yeah,
do, that's not the kind of reputation that is going to keep you around for years.
yep,
We've been in business here, since 1992, and I'm hoping to be here till 2052,
yeah,
maybe even longer. But you're not going to build that type of rapport and longevity based on cheap.
yep, yeah. And you've got some, I don't follow the whole, I mean, I should probably because I'm also the president of the Fence Workers Association, but um, I don't follow the politics as much as I should in our industry, but there is a lot of chapters and things going on, and you got some big news. For you that I saw out there recently, you became a board member or something of one of the chapters, right, of AFA?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the American Fence Association, obviously, we do have a local chapter, the Midwest chapter. Um, Daniel Brown, the owner of Oakley Fence here in Stillwater, he came once he became president. He came down to see me, and we just kind of started chatting it up, and we had a lot in common. He kind of told me the goals that he had, to be able to push the industry and the chapter, and really just kind of I guess more than anything, really, the Oklahoma fence industry, and what we
Yep,
wanted to do with that.
yep,
And so, just being really like-minded, me and him are basically the same age, coming from what I refer to as a legacy fence company, one where the torch has kind of been passed on to you,
yep,
and the direction that you wanted to go with that.
yep,
So we, our interests really kind of align, with some of the stuff that the AFA was doing. Um, and so it was just something that we wanted to be a part of and support. And Daniel's a heck of a guy. So I really liked what he had kind of brought to the table. And yeah, so he pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. And well, he just pushed me, so I just
yeah,
jumped on. And we now board members.
yeah.
So that's something that's voted on, I think, twice or every 2 years. So looking forward to serving the Midwest chapter, and seeing if we can bring some fun and excitement, and make fencing great again in the Midwest.
Yep. Yeah. No. And I know you'll do a great job. And I don't know. I may have met Daniel somewhere. I don't. I'm bad with the name. I'll see people's faces. I'm like, oh, I know this guy from somewhere. And it's like, but but the name sometimes slip me. But so
I have.
if I did meet you, Daniel, I apologize. I don't by name. I'm not sure. But it sounds like a good guy. And I know you'll do a great job. And one thing I like about seeing this is I'm seeing a lot of, I want to say, young blood coming in, a lot of new energy and things, people that are dealing with the issues and the problems that we're actually dealing with now, opposed to 20, 30 years ago. So to see this shift in our industry and to see some of our leaders and some of our board members and everybody kind of shifting over to people that are dealing with the day-to-day issues that we deal with now, opposed to decades ago. Because I remember working for my uncle's fence companies, and they didn't have to deal with the staffing issues weren't as much, the compliance and the laws and even the permits and the building departments, and hell, all the utilities were overhead. Remember that? Those were great
Oh yeah.
days. Now, I
Yes,
mean, they
sir.
didn't have to deal with any of that. I mean, other than some water and stuff like the sewer, you didn't really have anything in the ground back then. So to have people like you come in there and help bring it more of a relevant conversation to how we're dealing with problems now, it's a huge deal. And I see this across the whole country happening now, not just from that, but like you were saying, the education on the new styles and the new ways fences are being built. And I think we're breaking through the barrier of PC. And we're getting to hey, I get it may not be politically correct to say it this way, but this is what we're dealing with now. So let's just bring it to the table and talk about it. So I think you're going to be huge for that chapter. I believe was already one of the main ones for AFA, wasn't it? One of the busiest ones.
I do believe so. I know that they got chapter of the year, or chapter, whatever their award is, for being the best chapter in the organization. I know
Yeah.
that they holding that trophy last year.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, one of the bigger things, that Daniel and I really kind of talked about, is that education. You know, and being able to, you know, teach those, you know, that are coming up behind us. You know, like you said, you know, you worked for your uncle's fence company. You know, obviously that's been, you know, how many years ago?
Yep.
You
Oh,
would you say?
20 years ago, right?
Okay, and
Yeah.
you know, did he probably have, you know, any of the resources that
30
we
years
have
ago.
now?
I mean, what? 40? Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, he probably, you know, did absolutely everything on his own. You know, he probably didn't have somebody, you know, that he could reach out to and, you know, ask questions to.
No.
You know, obviously there was no YouTube. You know,
Yep.
so nobody could look up, you know, instructions on anything. You
Yeah.
know, so a lot of those things, you know, are self-taught. And so now, you know, that all of those, you know, self-taught people, you know, like your uncle, my dad, you know, they've taught that younger generation. But you know, it's kind of beneficial, you know, to go ahead and teach those that are not just under you, you
Right.
know, the ones that are coming up behind you in your own business, but you know, to spread your knowledge, you know, across the industry,
Right.
because all it does is make it better. So, you know, whenever you do that, you know, and everybody has the more education, it just raises the bar.
Yeah.
You know, if every single fence company out there, you know, is doing a great job on their installations, you know, then every single fence is going to fetch a higher price, which is
Right.
great, you know, for the industry. Period.
Right.
You know, keeps everybody's wallets a little bit more full. Um, and you know, materials move more.
Yep.
You know, the higher quality materials move even better. So you know, just pushing, you know, the education and you know, being able to, or being willing, you know, to help those that ask.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that's really what you know, what we're really trying to achieve.
Yep. And the industry is a lot less forgiving now than it was back then. So the only good thing about not having the YouTubes and the social media and everything was you were allowed to make a mistake.
Yeah,
And
no one knew about it.
and the whole world didn't tear you apart. You didn't
Nope.
get you know, kicked out of groups, and you didn't get like you know, you didn't get attacked and, and berated by a million people. So even when you look at even things like you know, associations or education things and all this, you look back and well, starting something in the 80s or 70s or something would be a hell of a lot easier than starting something now, because you're allowed to make mistakes, and you were allowed to fix it, and you didn't have people trying to tear you apart while you were doing it. Now everybody, you're under a microscope, and I can tell you that just from the stuff I'm doing. You're under a microscope, and you've got a set, it's just like our politics everywhere else, you've got a set group of people that are waiting for you to make a mistake. And back then we didn't have that. You just made a
Yep.
mistake, and the only person that knew was your wife or your girlfriend, and she, you know, braided you a little at home, and people at work, they didn't bug you, your competitors didn't even know, but now the whole world knows. So I think that we do have to have some of the stuff like you guys are doing, a little bit more education, a little bit more awareness on how to do it correctly, because if you don't, they won't be able to break past that barrier of just being a, you know, working out of a truck from on the weekends. So it's huge what you're doing. It's huge what you guys are doing, and education will probably never be a huge passion of mine, because I think there's so much out there, and AFA has been doing such a great job for so long at it. It's like, why try to reinvent things? You know, we'll do our
Well, you know,
education, but it'll be different. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, anytime you can add something, you know, something of
Yeah.
value, you know, to somebody, then it's why not? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether it's going to be, you know, of your products or your process, you know, I guess the new saying is, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And so everybody that's being a little bit more vocal,
Right.
you know, about how things are done and the successful way to do things is, you know, great.
Yeah.
You know, every chance I get, you know, everybody that comes through my door, you know, the majority of them, you know, well, I've never, you know, put up a vinyl fence, or I've never done this. And so it's just me going, you know, hey, let me show you.
Yeah.
Because once you start doing it, you know, you'll realize, hey, it's just like any other fence.
Yeah.
Why would, you know, and why would you not want to make more profit in something?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you're better at it and you can push yourself, you know, as a premium quality company, because you have that education, then of course get after it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, vinyl fence scares me. It's like a foreign language. I mean, it's crazy because I mean, we're a pretty good sized company in Las Vegas, you know, Las Vegas Fence, right? So
Oh yeah.
we got, you know, trucks going out every day, you know, almost 365 days a year, basically, especially even during holidays sometimes. So, but you know, but we're used to doing, you know, 10-foot tall security fence, and you know, we could go around prisons and whatever it is, no problem. I think you heard me say it before, give me 50 feet a vinyl fence in somebody's backyard and we will screw it up. I don't know what it is. I'll be out there for 2 months. We'll never get paid. There'll be complaints. Right?
But and if you do that now, though, I mean, you can at least get on, social media and get some tips.
Yeah. So, well, you know what it is they're just in Las Vegas. It's a steel. There's wall and steel, walls and steel.
Yeah.
So I think we've done like in the last 10 years, we probably did 1 wood fence job and 2 vinyl jobs, and the rest of it has been all chain link and iron. So there's not even much aluminum here in this market right out here. So I guess it depends on where you're at in the country too. And then residential is probably a lot more vinyl as well, right?
Yes. It's just regional,
Yeah.
There's like you would kind of mention steel being more towards either of the coasts, and it's not, as far as I can tell. You don't want that steel being anywhere near that salt. But Oklahoma, there was actually a time where we had our own aluminum fencing manufactured, and it just didn't sell. People didn't want aluminum whenever Ameristar has such a great steel line, it's just not comparable. So, in our region, I'm sure even Texas, aluminum here just doesn't sell. So, that product, obviously that is great for the coastal regions. So, just really kind of wherever you're at, the market decides what they want, and, you've just got to supply it. You got to listen, to what the market wants.
Yeah. I think a good reference, I mean, because, we obviously, being with the Fence Workers Association, we talk to a lot of people from around the country on a regular basis, like yourself and stuff. So I get to learn stuff I didn't even know about the industry around the country. And I did kind of find out that, hey, you want to find out what sells in that area, go to your local Lowe's, see what they stock. If you go to a Lowe's in one area, it's all black vinyl chain link and vinyl. You go to another one and it's just galvanized chain link and wood panels, and it's and steel fence. So it really they kind of know what's selling in that area. So it's a good reference to see what's being sold. But if you walk in and there's no vinyl fence, you probably don't want to open up a vinyl fence shop.
That's probably true. Now, us being a little bit larger of a company, we do compete, with Lowe's and Home Depot.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that we compete against, is the quality.
Yeah.
But yeah, those big companies like that, they have the money, they have, all the resources, and honestly, they're just smarter. So yes, exactly like you said, they've kind of already got a lot of this figured out, and listen to them as much as you can. Obviously, like I said, we do compete with them, but I'm not going to lie, I do look over my shoulder every once in a while, kind of see what they've got going on. And, and if I can take any hints from it and, make my operation better, then of course I will.
Yeah. Yeah. So what, do you have a favorite? What's your favorite out of all the lines you have? And of course, and they're probably like your children, these things you kind of grow yourself, these different lines of fence. Out of all of them, what do you think your favorite, whether it's the vinyl, the steel, a certain style, what's your favorite one that you make?
Man, that's a pretty good one. Right now, I would probably have to say it is our black vinyl. That is a product, that is again, we source from overseas. But just the pure simplicity of it, our Goliath system, multi-post system, it's a beautiful horizontal style fence, very versatile. You can actually do horizontal or vertical in a lot of ways with it.
Right.
But the black ranch fencing that we have, just the simplicity of it. I'm able to, fill thousands of feet, with just a couple components, as opposed to, those more fancy systems, that do have, 15 components, per section. I'm able just to go grab, a handful of rails, handful of posts, throw them in some boxes, put it on a pallet, and I can ship that stuff nationwide, no problem. So right now, I'd probably say just the simplicity of our ranch fencing is
the ranch, the black one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. By the way, everybody's watching, I'm going to throw some pictures of that up there, and
Sweet.
I'm going to put that it's Blake's favorite, and hope his other fence style don't see it. But did I see some pictures of you rolling a race car around or something, and some team gear? What's the deal with that? I mean, do you have your own race car?
Man, yes and no. So that deal. We were actually surprised, at the end of 2022 that Fence Tech was coming, to Oklahoma City. It's never been in the rotation before, but we did just get a brand new convention center. And so whatever the powers that be, they decided to bring it to Oklahoma City.
Right.
And I just, my eyes got this big. I'm like, no way, we've got to be a part of that. So, us never being involved in it before, being a relatively, just small, region, basically only kind of serving the Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Kansas market, just those surrounding states. I knew that this was a great opportunity, to get us and our name out there.
Right.
Um, but like you said, what does Ameristar do? They have the best marketing team along with all those engineers.
Yep.
They have it all. How do you compete with that? So the only thing I can think of, being a small fish in this big sea, is just to scream as loud as possible.
Yep.
And man, I have a passion for dirt race cars. So I actually borrowed a buddy of mine's car. We went out, and what you do, in racing is to pay for your racing. You do get sponsors.
Yeah.
Just like any kind of event or anything like that. Just like you with the show. So you got to get sponsors, to pay for these things. So we went out in race car fashion, and got sponsors for the entire thing. We had the car wrapped in the sponsors' logos. We made shirts, just an actual racing shirt, just like you would find at a dirt track.
Yep. I
We
saw it.
sold
Yeah.
those, to bring in, a little bit more funds. And that's how we got, this little company of ours, on the big stage.
Yeah.
How else, can you get noticed if you aren't screaming?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
thing just screamed, hey, come check us out. Whether you're here to look at fencing or not, it's at least a
Yeah.
cool race car.
Yeah.
We had some pretty cool giveaways and things like that. And yeah, that's just kind of how it's done in the racing world. And I figured,
Yeah.
hey, it's got to translate, into the fence world as well. And it worked really well for us.
Yeah.
It really kind of launched us, to where we're at now. It did bring a lot of attention, which was the goal.
Yep.
So yeah, next time it's in Oklahoma City, we'll probably do something just as loud and obnoxious, and have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't in Oklahoma on was it Nashville is what I was thinking, where the last show
Yeah,
was.
Nashville was 24, so the
Okay.
23 was Oklahoma City.
Okay, 23. Yeah. So I saw the one. Oh, looks like we just lost Blake for a second. Let me see if he comes back on. We lost you
Sorry,
for a
man.
second. You got a bad signal there.
I forgot to pay my phone bill, dude, or something like that.
I know, right?
My AOL ran out. So.
I was just zelling you some money for your phone bill. You didn't pay it. I was going to buy that sponsorship on the shirt. Where does that money go?
Missed opportunities, man. That's the thing, is it just goes to pay for the racing. It doesn't actually pay.
I know. You don't make any money. Sometimes people think we're making money on stuff that we're doing just because you see a fancy shirt or a sign or a logo or hats, and they don't realize that half the stuff we do as men, we don't think that far ahead.
Nope, not at all. It's just, man, what can I do to? Yeah, pretty much.
The goal is to just have it not cost us as much as it would if we didn't have it, right?
Yep.
We do things. Yep. Yeah, we do things for fun. But I know it looks like I appreciate you coming on. It looks like I know you had another meeting going on, and you were going to try to get to. So I appreciate you getting on here and kind of telling us about your products. Last thing, you did mention some of the shows we were just kind of going over at Nashville and Oklahoma. What do you got coming up in the future? Any shows you got coming up?
Well, we are still trying to make the demo days for your show, man.
Oh, okay, cool.
I am trying to get some product built up. So what we have now, give just a quick, skinny on it here. Our Goliath multi-post system. We are developing what I am calling a no-dig spike. So what that is going to be a driven post that drives down in the ground, obviously, and our Goliath post sleeves over it. So this will actually make for the first no-dig horizontal modern, fence system. Something that goes up extremely quickly. There's no compromise or sacrifice in strength, and hopefully in the end, brings the actual cost down of the system. Makes all of everybody's installations quicker, so brings the cost down on the labor as well. And also will allow us to ship at a much lower rate. Whenever you ship anything, like I was saying about the vinyl, it being so big and bulky, those things cost a lot to ship. So if we can make our components shorter and smaller, we'll be able to ship that out at an even lower cost and be able to push the product out even further.
So horizontal. So there's nothing for. I mean, I don't do much no dig. So it's always kind of a mystery when I hear people. And I know there's a lot of controversy over no dig and digging and putting collars and how everybody does it differently. But so there's no dig system, which is where they pound the post in and then they sleeve the original post they want to use for the fence over that. So there's nothing for vertical when you say horizontal. I mean, you're talking about going this way.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, there's nothing out there doing that right now for no dig.
Well, there have been a couple, new horizontal type systems come out. All of them, great in their own fashion. They serve their purpose. What we've done here with the Goliath system, is made a system that is, for one, extremely versatile. You can put just about any kind of infill in it. You can, space it out and have a semi-private, and then the actual post itself being, big and an extruded aluminum design. The actual design of it, just makes it extremely strong. So it's going to have some of the highest wind loads, of dang near any fence. As far as I can tell, this is the only system that you can do like an 8-foot tall, 8-foot wide section on, and still have 100-mile-an-hour wind loads on it. So we're trying to get that into kind of a no dig system. Not everybody needs that absolute strength, but everybody wants that newer style of fence. So if we can do things to modify it, and offer it in a different fashion, to help bring that cost down, for a lot of customers across the country, then that's what we're going to try and do. And so that's what I'm trying to bring to demo days is our new spike. So we'll be out there hopefully, with quite a few of those pieces, just pounding them down, letting people know, see how the system kind of works and goes together. And so that'll be kind of our proof of concept, for that new product.
Nice. Do you have a special pounder you use typically, or?
No, sir. So what I've been doing right now is I've got some buddies that do a lot of no dig, a Titan post driver or Rhino. I think they both got those.
Yep, they'll be there.
We will be using a sky drill, for our test coming up here that we have in house. As far as I can tell, that thing will pound anything down.
Who makes the sky drill? Where's that come out of? Where's the sky drill come out of?
No, I don't know. I just know the guy that owns one. So
okay, I don't know. I thought, and maybe they're going to be there. I mean, I know Susan's been handling a lot of the demo day stuff out there. I'll probably get involved here as we get closer, like 30 days out to the demo days to kind of get some of that stuff going. We're still working on some of the shade structures, and that's going to be kind of cool. I know Homeland's going to be doing a big party out there. If you haven't heard of that yet, yeah. So they'll be doing something pretty big outside. There's going to be some live music. There's going to be a pretty cool event. I mean, we're going to see how it goes. It's the first one. I mean, obviously the normal expo is going to be happening, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday inside. So that doesn't change, but we're just kind of testing it out. Cause there's one thing about me, FWA, is we're not afraid to try something.
Yeah, man, you literally, you never know until you try. We've been kind of, pushed away on this no dig thing for this system. But hey, you've got to give it a try. Otherwise you'll never know. So we are in the proof of concept phase with it. I'll be building up some sample pieces, probably 15, 20 of them or so. And we are going to try to, kind of team up with the all of the drivers that are going to be out there. So, if any of those companies want to get with us and, show guys, hey, this is how easy that their product drives with our product, we'll be totally open for that. Same thing, there's also other companies out there that we'll be trying to get with because each one of these spikes that we drive down, we're going to need something to pull them back up. So, there's another way there, for somebody to test out some product. So yeah, it's still something that we're kind of putting together. I'm going to try to make it, by the skin of my teeth, but man, I'm hoping to make a trip out to Vegas and come see you. And man, maybe me and you can sit down at a craps table or do some blackjack.
Yeah, we'll have one right on property, so that's going to make it easy. Yeah, I'm excited to see. I don't think though it's going to be Vegas, in Nevada, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of people walking around saying this is how easy it is. Wait till they start pounding posts out here. So this is going to be a good test for all this because we pound posts on chain link, fences and sometimes around vacant lots and things like that. But mainly we dig and set. But even then, we've got big pneumatic equipment with one of those compressors you pull behind your truck, and sometimes we sit on a post for 10, 15 minutes. with a and that's a 1 5/8 post full weight with a 45-degree on the end or something, trying to get it in. So and that's why you get certain areas. And I tell people, hey, just be careful telling everybody they got to do no dig everywhere, because you can't, it all affects the ground conditions too. And you can't go down 3 feet here. You can't pound a post 3-4 feet in the ground here. It's doesn't work. I mean, you could pound a post probably 16 inches in the ground here, and 16, 18 inches, and you wouldn't be able to get it out unless you had a piece of equipment.
Yeah. Well, really and truly, that's what I'm really excited, about my no dig spike is this right here should be able to drive easier and faster, than just any kind of round post. I can't really speak much more on it just yet, but
I'm excited.
looking for it. It's something that's absolutely proprietary, but works, in a variety of fences. So it is definitely something, that I'm really anxious and excited, to get out there, get tested, and hopefully have this thing, to market, for hopefully 2025.
Yeah, no, now you got my head just spinning on this spike thing. I mean, I'll be thinking about it, man. I can't wait to see it. But hey, Mark, go find a spike and bring it in the shop. No,
No, that's not fair, Brian. That's not fair.
But no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see that new stuff. But we need something. We need something that pounds easier out here. And where we get stuck is we're so overregulated, in Nevada when it comes to building departments and stuff, where we have footing inspections and things like that. So we've had a few issues where we went and pounded around there. And granted, they went down 16, 18, 20 inches. And then if there's any problems at all, we are standing in front of contractors board defending ourselves why we didn't use concrete. And not that you won't win, not that we can't dig out, international building codes and dig out ASTM standards and show that there's reasons why you can drive. That just doesn't mean that you're not still standing there defending yourself every time. You know what I mean? So we gotta, I think the industry's got to get together and figure out how you break that barrier. And because our time is worth money. So even if you won, I mean, what did you win? You saved the customer some money, and you just got to stand there and waste a month of your life in defending yourself, right? To be able to allow them to drive a post in the ground. So there's a balance. And I think the reason everybody's getting away with it is more now is because they don't, most of the country's not regulated. And you're allowed to try, that goes back to the laws and regulations. It stifles innovation. So you're allowed to innovate. You're allowed to find new ways to do stuff that's better. And then you get in overregulated areas like mine, and you can't. You don't have the option to try new things, whether it's better or not. So, I love the freedom you guys have, and I think that's what our industry needs, and what everybody, you need to be able to innovate and make better products. And these laws and regulations are stifling it. It's making it to where you can't build better fences, you can't build better gate operators, you can't build better accessories. You can only build per this law. And it's
which makes for some very, very boring products a lot of the time.
A lot of times these great products come out, great fence styles, great operators, great access controls, whatever it happens to be, and they can't make it to market because it doesn't meet this standard, this code that we made up. You know what I mean? And to get that changed, the people that are in control of it don't want to change it. So because
that's the worst part is they aren't even the ones that came up with it. They're just they are the powers that be. How they got to be that, I don't know. So
it is what it is. That's a whole nother topic, but
we'll set aside at least 3-4 hours for that one. Let's do it. We'll reschedule as soon as we hang up here, man.
I'll probably edit that out of our entire video we're doing.
That's okay, man. I don't blame you. Heck, you can just edit out my whole face. I mean,
we'll start that. We'll put something on there disguises our voices.
We'll be that guy off in the shadows talking with a really weird deep voice. Won't track us down. No way.
Well, they'll never find us. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing you out there. Something we could do at our end to help out. Let us know. It's a big deal. You've always been a huge supporter of ours, and we've always, loved watching what you're doing and supporting what you guys are doing for the industry too. And I think the suppliers like you are the ones that are feeding the industry. And it's important to small to medium-sized companies that are coming up as well. Without suppliers like you, I don't believe they have a shot. So I appreciate everything that you're doing.
Well, thank you so much, Brian. I truly appreciate that kind words. I absolutely love everything you're doing with FWA. I mean, I think every time that, we do talk about this, I just tell you, man, I'm behind you. I'm under you. I support you. Keep going. If you need anything from me on it, dude, I'm here. So, I do, obviously 100% support FWA. Like you said, we do support the AFA as well. So if I could just put in one quick plug, because it does involve me as well. November, especially since we're talking about education more than anything, November 3rd through the 9th, up at Tulsa here in Oklahoma. the AFA is putting on their installer school. So I will be teaching the vinyl fence installation portion. So, if you are in need of, installation techniques, just more industry knowledge on that subject, as well as all of these other, fence installation types, be sure to sign up for that through the AFA. Tony Thornton, he's always kind of the go-to guy, for that type of education. He's heavily involved in this as well. So, again, November 3rd through the 9th, AFA installation school. Blake right here will be teaching that. So
Awesome.
I'm excited about that.
Couldn't think of a better guy to be teaching it. Definitely send us some information on that so we can help get some shots out for you on the education stuff. We will talk to you later. Have a great rest of the week.
You too, Brian. We'll holler at you later, man.
Awesome. Thanks. All right.